Two companies with identical capabilities can experience very different results depending on the industries they operate in. This is why industry analysis must come before strategy formulation. Before launching a new product, refining a pricing strategy, or entering an entirely new market, leaders have to map the external pressures they are about to face. This is Michael E. Porter. In 1979, he developed the standard strategic framework used to measure these exact environmental conditions. Developed at Harvard Business School, this model requires organizations to look far beyond their direct rivals to evaluate the broader ecosystem influencing their profitability. To use this tool effectively, you need three things in place: a clearly defined business objective, reliable market data, and a cross-functional team ready to analyze the findings. Applying this framework, an organization moves away from reactive guessing. Instead, it builds a protective action plan based on the actual forces shaping the market. Step 1 is establishing strict parameters. We have to draw a box around our market before we even look at a single competitor. We do this by defining the industry boundaries with precision. Specify the exact product category, the geographic scope, and the specific customer segment. If you analyze a category as broad as food, your data will be useless. But if you narrow it to organic packaged snacks in urban India, you have a target you can actually measure. Poor industry definition is the single most common reason these analyses produce misleading conclusions and drive costly mistakes. Once the boundaries are set, step 2 is gathering the fuel. This requires collecting hard data from industry reports, financial statements, and customer surveys. Intuition has no place here. Every conclusion must trace back to evidence. When you demand strict evidence for your industry boundaries, you ensure that every strategic move you make later is grounded in reality, rather than internal assumptions. This diagram shows the structural matrix we will use to evaluate our market. Right in the center is competitive rivalry, rated based on the density of existing firms. Above that, we map the threat of new entrants. Over on the left is supplier power. On the right sits buyer power, where customers can easily switch providers. At the bottom is the threat of substitutes, representing entirely different methods to meet the same need. Looking at this fully populated matrix, we have a complete diagnostic of the market. Mapping these pressures is only half the job. An analysis without a corresponding action plan is a wasted effort. This map illustrates the target for Brew Nest Coffee. They were a regional chain, planning a heavy 15-core investment to open 20 stores in a highly saturated Tier 1 city. When they ran the forces on this specific market, the data showed intense pressures: high competitive rivalry, high buyer power driven by app-based discounts, and a massive threat of substitutes from home brew subscriptions and delivery-only kitchens. Faced with these realities, Brunest pivoted. Instead of opening 20 standard cafes, they built a defensive strategy: 10 premium flagship locations paired with 10 smaller high-transit kiosks to bypass premium real estate barriers. To counter the extreme buyer and supplier power, they introduced a unique region-specific menu that competitors lacked and secured long-term contracts with specialty bean suppliers to lock in their costs. The framework directly dictated their format mix and pricing strategy. Within 14 months, Brunest successfully captured a 7% market share against deeply entrenched national incumbents. Now that we've completed the process, you can see how raw market data transforms into a clear, quantified map of an industry's structural attractiveness. The core mandate remains simple. Once your matrix is complete, it must immediately translate into a targeted strategic action plan. Take these external findings and feed them directly into your internal SWOT and macro-environmental pestle analyses. This creates a complete strategic picture. This process is an ongoing practice. Set a strict annual review cadence to monitor your matrix for sudden technological shifts or market disruptions. By systematically exposing hidden pressures and unexpected substitutes before they hit your bottom line, this framework allows you to turn competitive pressure into a lasting competitive advantage.